Hi, everybody. So this week, instead of coming to you guys with a new lesson, last week we decided to take the week off. So we did not do the lesson that I did live last week. We're going to be doing it this week. So I decided to take this opportunity to show you how we actually prepped for it. So if you haven't caught the live planning of this lesson, go ahead and look at our last live, and it goes step through step how everything that we use to be able to do this lesson on theme. So I teach multiple grade levels at one time, and we do not use curriculum. So I wanted to share with you my planning process behind it. So our lessons come for this upcoming week is on theme. We are doing fourth and fifth grade. But before I start, I just wanted to just let you know like how is it so easy to be able to do these things. So for grades 3, you have to identify the lesson or the moral of the story, and you have to explain it using simple evidence. Well, in fourth grade, you have to explain how the character's action and events reveal the theme. And then in fifth grade, you have to be able to compare and contrast themes across multiple stories or experiences. So we like to use life experiences or interest-based text that my daughter decides to pick for herself. So it is very simple, y'all. This is our my organizer that I created for our fourth grade lesson. If you have a third grader, they'll be able to use this as well. So we just start with the story elements. You have the main characters, you have the setting, and you have the events, and you use this to identify the theme. So once you complete these components and identify the theme, then we're going to move into how the character actions, how that are events, and what it actually teaches. So in third grade, if you have a third grader, you can just do this first part and identify the theme. That's third grade mastered already. But for fourth grade, it builds on that, and you have to explain how the character's action and events reveal over time. So what she's going to do is after she goes through her story elements and identify her theme, she's going to give me the action and events, which is already here. We already identified them. We're just making a connection and what it teaches. And then she's going to respond to this question on the back. So it says, what is the theme of the movie? We're using the movie for the fourth grade lesson. Explain how the character's actions show the lesson and provide evidence from the movie. Relate the theme to real life. So, of course, in the midst of this, you have questions you're going to ask. You have discussion questions. That is also linked below the guide that I use that has all of those things for her to be able to complete this chart. But we haven't mastered fifth grade yet. So for fifth grade, you have to compare the themes across multiple stories or life experiences. So we're going to use a text for this one. It's the same thing. We're going to use a text that she's reading, the Vanderbeeker series. So we're going to use the book that she's reading, and we're going to go through that same process we did for fourth grade. Main characters, setting, your events, your problem, your solution, identify the theme, the action, the event, and what it teaches, and then respond to the question. What is the theme of the text? Explain how the character's actions show the lesson, provide evidence from the text, and relate the theme to real life. Well, in fifth grade, to master that skill, you have to compare the themes across multiple stories or life experiences. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to take this movie, and then we're going to take the text, and she's going to use all of this information to tell me how they're alike and how they are different. We just write a prompt. I wrote a prompt in her notebook. Explain how the theme from the movie that she's going to choose is similar or different than the theme from the text. Provide evidence from both the movie and the story to support your answer, and what lesson feels more real or relevant to your life. That's it. And you don't even have, my daughter loves sticky notes. She likes the different colors and stuff like that. So we use this. I put these on, like, this is a cardstock. Very, very simple, but you don't even have to do that. You can also put it in your notebook. So if you're somebody that has to report, in our state, we don't have to report anything. So if you're somebody that has to report things from the state, we also keep everything in one notebook. That was her letter to grandma last week. And this was our lesson. This was our brainstorming and stuff before that. This is the lesson before. This is the writing. So you can, as you can see, we just keep everything in one notebook. So when I finish, I'll just staple these or tape them or whatnot in her notebook, so we can come back to these if needed. And I just wanted to throw this out there. Our next lesson after this is taking 2 stories or 2 experiences and identifying and telling me how, and comparing and contrast the setting. And then we want to compare and contrast the events. So I'm going to come back and plan that lesson for you. But we'll know what we're going to use. We're going to use these same 2 things. Like, I'm not going to overthink it. We're not going to try to go, let's watch another movie, let's read another book, and all of these things. Why? When we have all of this already created for those two lessons. So that's it. I just wanted to show you very, very simple how you can teach multiple grade levels using in 1 week, in 1 week's time. I shared this on the last video. We're not, your child is homeschooled. They're not in a classroom with 20-something kids where you have to focus on that one skill, that one standard for that school year. We have the privilege to be just with our children. We know their needs. We know where they're going to struggle and all those things. So we don't have to spend a whole year on one skill. It doesn't make sense. And in addition to this, our skills are going to come back. So we do this twice a year. So again, just from these 2 little mini anchor charts, she's going to be able to master 4th grade and 5th grade. And if you have a 3rd grader, if you have 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, you can teach them all at one time. So I just wanted to share. This is just a quick live because we did not teach the lesson last week. We decided to take Christmas week. Well, this week we decided to take Christmas week off. So I just wanted to show you how I plan for this lesson. And again, I'm going to share it on my TikTok and on my Instagram page. Us live. I'm going to share some raw footage. I'm going to share some what worked, what might have not worked. You'll see where she might have stumbled or not stumbled, and also what she was able to do independently. Because on day 3, when we move into 5th grade and she has to do this again, she doesn't even need me. She can do this whole step. She'll be able to do it all by herself. And then I'll come in and model and ask some questions and stuff like that, so she can be able to understand how she's supposed to compare and contrast the movie and the text. So hope this helped you guys. If y'all have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I also linked the guide that I use to plan my lessons. But again, if you have not watched the planning, before you go through this video, well, this is the end of the video, but if you haven't watched the planning video, go watch the planning video before this one, because it shows you how I got to this point. This is only the prep. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next Friday at 4:00 with our plan for our next week lesson. And it's going to be a good one, y'all. So you do not want to miss it. It's going to be on informational text. Thank you guys.